Welcome into the weekly recap here at Daily Faceoff. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk, bringing you everything you may have missed over the last 7 days from around the NHL, and it's all brought to you by our friends over at Montana's, where all-you-can-eat Rib Fest is on right now until September 12th. Let's start with the big news from the last 7 days, and that's the Flames locking up their new star forward, Jonathan Huberdeau. It's an 8-year deal that won't kick in until the 2023-24 season, when Huberdeau will already be 30 years old. It's an 8-year deal that carries a $10.5 million AAV. Frank outlined the terms over on our Twitter. It's an interesting structure to this contract that will keep, or could potentially keep, Huberdeau as a Flame for the remainder of his career. The Flames lost two 100-point players this offseason in Johnny Gaudreau and Matt Tkachuk. They've now replaced one of them for a long time in Jonathan Huberdeau. It's quite a rich contract. It wasn't the only news the Flames made this week. In fact, GM Brad Treliving had a pretty busy 7 days. He also signed Andrew Mangiapane to a 3-year deal that carries a $5.8 million AAV. The forward set a career high last season with 35 goals in 82 games. If you prorate his last 2 seasons to 82 games, it works out to 26 goals in 2020-21 and 21 goals the season before that. The Flames also avoided arbitration with defenseman Oliver Shillington. Next on the docket for Brad Treliving in the Calgary Flames front office is to get Mackenzie Weegar locked up. He was the other piece of that Calgary, Florida blockbuster that we saw a couple of weeks ago, and he's a UFA at the end of next season. If you head up the QE2 to Edmonton, the Oilers also made some news. They avoided arbitration with forward Kyler Yamamoto, inking him to a 2-year contract with an AAV of $3.1 million. There were a lot of teams avoiding arbitration with their forwards over the last week, including the New Jersey Devils and Jesper Bratt. The two sides avoided arbitration, coming to terms on a 1-year deal worth $5.45 million. He had 26 goals and 73 points last season. If he keeps up that kind of production, the Devils are going to be getting tremendous value for next season, but kind of like kicking the problem just a year down the road. Bratt did appear on a couple of Frank Saravalli's trade targets list over the last few months. A few other notable players who signed this week and avoided arbitration. The Devils also signed Miles Wood. Defenseman Mario Ferraro in the San Jose Sharks agreed to a multi-year deal. Yakov Trenin out in Nashville. Mason Appleton got a multi-year deal with the Jets, and today the Arizona Coyotes signed Lawson Crouse to a big money contract as well, so those two sides won't be going to arbitration either. That was not the only substantial news we got today in the NHL, though. The Boston Bruins doing what, well, we kind of expected them to do for a few weeks, but they've made it official that Patrice Bergeron is coming back for another season. It is a 1-year deal, not worth a lot of money, but it's got a lot of bonuses in this thing. Bergeron can earn up to $2.5 million in performance bonuses. The forward is coming off a Selke season, one of the better seasons of his career, not showing any signs of aging, and the Bruins will need him to slide right back in to that number 1 center role next season. They also are bringing back David Krejci. The forward spent last season playing over in the Czech League. The last time he was in the NHL was in the 2020-21 season, where he scored 13 goals and added 30 assists in 61 games played. Similar to the Bergeron deal, there's not a lot of salary here, but there is the chance for Krejci to make up some of that money with a lot of performance bonuses as well. The Bruins are going to be without Charlie McAvoy and Brad Marchand for the first couple months of the next season, so bringing back Krejci, bringing back Bergeron, that'll go a long ways in helping them keep their heads above water until they get 2 of their other star players back from injury around December or January next year. That's going to do it for the weekly recap here at Daily Faceoff. What's coming up in the next week? Well, a new episode of the DFO Rundown is going to drop tomorrow afternoon, and it features a conversation between Jason Gregor, Frank Saravalli, and Florida Panthers general manager Bill Zito. Look for that wherever you get your podcasts from. The weekly recap is brought to you by Montana's, where all-you-can-eat Rib Fest is on now until September 12th. Montana's is the barbecue expert in Canada. They smoke their ribs in-house every day, then sauce and fire grill them to order. Head to their website, find the location closest to you, and hashtag GetMontana's Messy.